I like the idea of calling these people out. North Carolina Superintendent of Public Instruction candidate Michelle Morrow, that's a mouthful, is asked to autograph her tweets calling for Obama to be killed.
Oh, thank you.
I was wondering if I could grab your autograph.
Oh, you're so kind. Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh,
sure.
Do you mind
sure.
signing this?
No,
This is one of
no.
your tweets. It said Obama did it, Hillary did it, Schiff did it, Comey did it, Holder did it. And it says death to traitors on there. I thought that would
Think really hard there, Karen.
a great tweet. Do
Yeah.
you mind signing it for me?
Sorry, yeah, I do mind signing it.
Oh, would you mind
But
just?
nice to meet you.
Well, why won't you sign it? This is your tweet, right? Will you sign this other one where you said?
Exactly.
Will you sign this other one about killing Obama on pay-per-view?
On
That's over here.
pay-per-view.
Will you sign the tweet where you said a firing squad for Obama, a pay-per-view death? Michelle, will you sign it? All right. Well, she tweeted it that she wanted Obama to be killed by a firing squad on pay-per-view, but she wouldn't sign the tweet.
Yeah, she was just fine tweeting that a former president should be executed, but what's wrong? What's wrong, Michelle? That got her so flustered she walked into the obviously wrong
Really
room.
a fan of all the work that you've done.
Oh,
Exit stage left. Surprised she didn't make a hard right. You can see her walking into the wrong rooms 2 times before the guy tells her where she is supposed to go. So fucking funny. Yeah, she's just... Yeah, all of a sudden she has to go. She's got somewhere she's got to be. They're so stunning and brave when they're behind the keyboard. They're not sending their best. Will nobody spare me from my clear death threats? These guys are doing the Lord's work. Well, exactly. I thought they were on the right side of history. I thought they were doing the Lord's work. I thought they were totally in the right. I thought they were the majority of Americans. I thought everyone is on their side. You know what? I'll put $5 on the fact that we see her whining and crying about how she was ambushed and harassed. I find it pathetic. These people literally have no real conviction in the BS they spew and parrot. Zero responsibility and feel they never have to. And will tell you the left is driving political violence. Performative hate inspires genuine violence. Yeah, so long as somebody else ends up doing it. That's all. Recently in the UK, we had some race riots, and an MP's wife tweeted that hotels housing asylum seekers should be set on fire. Someone actually did that in real life, so it was a very terrible statement. She got 3 years in prison for that. It was actually the wife of a local conservative councillor, not MP, but yeah. They also took her away and they kept her locked up on remand until her sentencing as well. That's called nipping it in the bud. Social media has ruined the world. People will talk all kinds of shit, say whatever they want online, And then when confronted in real life, it's like they're a totally different person that takes zero accountability. Social media is like their bubble. They think they can say anything and get away with it. The bubble bursts when someone approaches them in real life. Yeah, because they seem not to understand. It isn't private. It isn't a fucking all out sounding board like you think it is. You know, you want to bitch and whine and complain, make death threats against people. You want to be racist and sexist and homophobic and transphobic and all of that. Talk to a wall. Do something in your home. Go into the bathroom, scream into a pillow, and do all that therapeutic anger release bullshit. And this is why they're really pissed off about freedom of speech. They don't like the consequences that come with using the internet as that pillow to scream into. They're outraged that they get held accountable, that people are paying attention, that they're reading this shit. And these are people, what the hell does she do again? Superintendent of Public Instruction candidate? She shouldn't be a candidate anymore. I'm sure she has her supporters, obviously, why she did it in the first place. A slaughtered cow is being polite to her. Running for North Carolina superintendent for the whole state. She's a fucking moron. I'm so fucking sick of this Pee Wee Herman-like way of arguing they do. I know you are, but what am I? A lot of people may be uninformed and don't pay attention, but after all this, over years, they know. They know it's their side with 99% of the threats. It's just a fascist head game. What's the risk when there's no punishment and only reward? This is why people are lined up around the block at the polls. Seriously, where's that personal responsibility I keep hearing about? I was hoping she'd actually have the balls to do it. And she was ready to fucking sign it out of pure flattery before she finally figured it out. She was so flattered somebody wanted her autograph that she was about to sign it. Then when she knew what it was, she didn't. Why? I mean, why would someone be enamored with her like that? She doesn't even think about that. Why the hell would anybody want your damn autograph? If they did, it would be because they read your tweets and they know what you're really about. And they subscribe to that MAGA fascist bullshit. But when it's brought up, you don't want to sign it. You get scared and you run away. Why is that? She actually thought no one was paying attention. found herself in a state of being profoundly flattered, experiencing a deep sense of appreciation for all the attention she was receiving, which elevated her spirits and put her in a mood of agreeable readiness. She was thoroughly prepared, fully equipped mentally and emotionally to place her signature on that document before her, to commit her name with the utmost confidence and assurance, as she believed she understood what was being asked of her and was willing to comply without hesitation. Blah, blah, blah. The moment he, the other party involved, chose to elaborate further, to clarify and explain the true nature of the document in question, revealing a reality she had not participated, her certainty began to falter, leaving her in a position far less confident than she had initially been. Yeah, like this wasn't copied into ChatGPT. Okay. Exactly. You could have a measure of respect for her if she did sign it, because you knew she was ready to own her own hateful BS, but she wouldn't sign it. Trash is trash. And she should be arrested. I think she should be too. She went to J6 too and is full-on Christian nationalist. No experience in public schools. Her kids are homeschooled. Oh yeah, this should definitely be an arrestable offense. I agree. Well, at least her opponent is leading by 2/3. Great. Facetious comments that were taken out of context between friends 4 or 5 years ago. What a stupid bitch. It's not between friends when it's out in public over Twitter. Donald Trump will have an enemies list. I will have a to-do list. Excellent. This isn't normal. Thank you for saying so. Look at that shit. That should scare the piss out of you when a so-called free nation has shit like this going on around a nation's leader. As Trump shit his pants, they prayed for solidity. Hey, that was my comment. I literally made that on Twitter right when this photo was taken. I said it right out. They're praying for him. What he's doing is he's sitting there focusing on shitting his depends. He's not thinking about God, but their prayers went unanswered as the shit flowed like water down his pant leg. Trickle down shitnomics. Shitbirds of a feather flock together, Randy Bobanti. Shit tectonics, shit hawks. The whispering winds of shit. We've had Sharknado. Will this be Shitnado? Ew. And as history has shown, when Christianity mixes with nationalism, the end result is violent fascism. We establish no religion in this country. We command no worship. We mandate no belief, nor will we ever. Church and state are and must remain separate. And that's from Ronald Reagan. I hate to give kudos to Reagan, but even he knew what the deal was. Religious institutions that use government power in support of themselves and force their views on persons of other faiths or of no faith undermine civil rights. Thomas Jefferson. Every new and successful example, therefore, of a perfect separation between ecclesiastical and civil matters is of importance. And I have no doubt that every new example will succeed, as every past one has done, in shewing that religion and government will both exist in greater purity, the less they are mixed together. James Madison. The First Amendment has erected a wall between church and state. That wall must be kept high and impregnable. We could not approve the slightest breach. Hugo L. Black, South Carolina Justice. With tears in their eyes. See podcast The Whole in their interview in 2021 of a personal assistant on The Apprentice named Noel Casler. It is podcast number 285. He has not been sued for what was said in the interview. Great thread with details is here too. What's going on with Trump? I almost said dump, and diapers and smells. Why are memes like this popping up so much? Is there something to it, or is it just a make fun of Trump thing? Political humor. I don't know. It was the greatest shit, an amazing shit. Everyone is saying they never saw a shit like that before. Sir, we've never smelled anything like that. Ugh. God, that's so... Ugh. So gross. How pathetic. Shame on them. On this ridiculous and embarrassing photo op. Gross. Oh, there it is again. It's going to be all over the place. Good. I'm torn. On one hand, Trump's former chief of staff says he's a Hitler-admiring fascist who wants to rule like a dictator. But on the other, Harris can't locate pay stubs from a part-time job 40 years ago. What a perplexing decision. They're burning ballots. They're attacking democracy. Ooh, a suspect has already been arrested after someone started a fire inside a drive-up mail collection mailbox near 7th Avenue and Indian School Road around 1:20 in the morning in Phoenix, Arizona. Officials say that 20 election ballots were damaged. Was it MAGA? More than likely. Who the fuck else do you think would do that? All the shit they do to try to lie and cheat and steal their way into office, the gerrymandering, shutting down of polling sites, moving them far away from disenfranchised neighborhoods, making people stand in line all day while telling other people they can't give them food and water or chairs to sit down in. We don't want people under 25 to vote. We don't want women to vote. It's everywhere. They unabashedly say this shit. Who else do you think would literally set ballots on fire? And this guy, this suspect, I didn't even know they had a suspect yet. He's fucked. That's like a top felony type crime. Physically trying to destroy ballots for a presidential election. The feds are gonna cook this guy like he cooked those ballots. I have no doubt it was MAGA because they're the only idiots stupid enough to risk committing a felony crime on behalf of their cult leader. They also seem to believe that felonies aren't a thing. Because, Trump has not been convicted of 34 of them simply because he has not been sentenced. So, yeah, they're totally meaningless, right? Those simpleton maggots, they don't understand how anything works, much less the criminal justice system. You can't completely blame them. They see Trump gallivanting all over the country as if he's not the convicted felon that he is. Two systems of justice for sure. No, part of their problem is they think they are on that same tier as Trump. They have said as much out loud. They think because they're white and they're right wing and they support Trump that nothing has been happening to him despite all of these felony convictions. So why can't they commit crimes too? Surely nothing will happen to them. They're right on par with Trump. They believe their shit don't stink. They actually think nothing is going to happen to them. This one MAGA head I ran into believes all of his criminal convictions will magically go away. They're also deluded into thinking the system is rigged against Trump, so all those convictions magically become invalid. This poor sap who got caught is about to find out real quick the difference in law and punishment between a supposed billionaire and a thousandaire. Try hundredaire. Do you remember that kid who gave out top secret info on tanks to impress people, called out the bullshit that Trump has done worse, and is still allowed to walk free. Not to downplay the seriousness of telling secrets, but I'm more worried about nuclear weapons than tanks. Okay, well, lock them all up. Start with the really high-profile criminals. Stone, Musk, they know it's coming, and work your way down to the last J6er. No lie, the guy's name, Dieter Bradford Kloppkorn. Dieter? Sounds like an NPC merchant name. No, it reminds me of Sprockets. You remember Sprockets? Sprockets with your host, Dieter. SNL, Mike Myers, back in the day. The whole post-communist Berlin Wall expressionist Dieter on the Sprocket show. Pretty cool. I did it because they're committing election interference. Commits election interference. Just like the last election, screaming about election fraud, turns out the only fraud is done by maggots. I'm sure Trump will totally pardon him once he gets reelected, and totally won't forget about them because he loves his supporters so much. Yeah, is this just a felony at this point, or is it like considered full-blown treason? No, it's called terrorism. Don't sugarcoat it. And this is just a taste of the terrorism to come. Yeah, but Dems are the ones tampering with the election. No, they have to say that because every accusation is a confession. They destroyed ballots to protect democracy. Yep. Phoenix, all of Maricopa County, make certain to use BeBallotReady.vote, which allows one to more or less follow one's ballot after it's mailed. That's a cool little app. Imagine being arrested and ruining your entire life, and then finding out you only destroyed a handful of them. Not only could these people just double check to see if their vote was counted, but even if they're all Democrats, it's like 20, that's it. It likely won't affect anything, and this person will most likely spend 20 years in a federal prison for it. Every single one of these drop boxes should have some sort of security system. Shit, I walk into Walmart for dog food and my ass is on a monitor and they tell me, but ballots can be set on fire. This is also just fear. They are weak, fearful, and troubled people, incapable of accepting that time marches on, things change, and the world will make decisions with or without their consent. Their holy red electoral maps are copium. Their worldview is broken and corrupted. They confuse patriotism with idolatry and individualism with selfish greed. Bring it on, MAGA. There is no one with a pocket full of pardons to save you now. And wouldn't it be funny if those were all votes for Trump, too? Yeah, MAGA needs to be designated as a terrorist organization already. You know damn well it was MAGA. They already stated that bastard that shot into Democratic offices the other day. It should be automatic disenfranchisement if you are ever caught subverting American democracy using violence or dangerous means. Or, just terrorism because you're a terrorist. Of course it was MAGA. Is the sky blue? Funny. Is the sky blue? The sky was a special shade of midnight blue that evening. I don't want best. I want hot. Boomer gave me a cash tip and told me to vote Trump. So my tip doesn't get taxed next time. Okay, Boomer. You have no idea what I did in the White House. I stopped wars with France. This dude's brain is cooked. That's sad. All right, screw this. All right, I might as well take